Hello, hello. There we go. There's my mic output. All right. How are y'all doing? All right. Looks like I think it's just me. Yeah, it's just me. That's fine. I'm still loading up Photoshop. Yeah. So let's go ahead and catch up. What's going on? When people show up into stream, I can show off my cat. Got a cat in my lap, but it's a little chilly. Oop. There we go. Alright. Man, I still don't understand Twitch. It says I have 2 people watching, but just got 1 user in chat. Anyway, if you're out there, thanks for watching. Okay, so I'm actually going to delete. Let's walk through where we are here real quick. So here's where we are. I've got an idea for Abandoned that's actually using a map that's in this Photoshop file, but I don't think a lot of my streams so far have been like placement streams where I'm just like placing assets, and that's actually what this is going to be. So I think I may not do that. At least not do that first. I'd like to work on underwater, although I have an idea for Celt as well. That could be lots of fun, but underwater sounds fun, so we're going to work on that. So I went ahead and split this. I had these in the same files. So this is waterfalls. And what I was planning on doing for Abandon was actually just taking this map and redoing the assets to make like the lamps blank and making like the beds messed up, putting some scorch marks around, and kind of just making this whole place look like it's an abandoned mining outpost instead of an active one. So that's my idea for Abandoned. Underwater, I'm going to use these assets and I'm going to make like a mining area, except I'm going to flood parts of it. And what I really want to do is I really want to have like these street lamp or these hanging lamps, and then the layer of water is going to be underneath those lamps is the idea. So I'll probably stream for an hour or two. We'll just see. I had a late breakfast and I don't have anything to do until tonight, so I'll probably just stream for a couple hours. Alyssa Faden isn't streaming today, so I figured I would. Hey, Truk. Thanks for joining me. Truk says morning. Nice. So Truk, I'll go ahead and go through this again real quick, just because you just arrived, I'm assuming. So here's where I am on Mapvember. It's got, yeah, so Abandoned, I have an idea for that, but I think I'm going to work on Underwater. I have an idea for Cell 2. Cell is going to be interesting, and I'm going to try to knock out actually all 3 of these this weekend, and I'll stream what I can, but anyway, so here we are. This map for Abandoned, I'm going to take this and add some, we'll remove the signs of activity and make it look abandoned is my idea for the abandoned prompt. For Cell, I actually want to take these, this map, and make some caverns, and then make in the middle of the caverns what looks like some kind of ancient cell of some giant creature. I'm going to put like some brick and some of the tomb assets, and then like some giant manacles and things like that in there, and then have them empty. And I was going to do that with the mining assets, but the mining assets, I already did the tomb to make it look like they discovered a tomb while they were mining, and I feel like doing that with Cell would be kind of reusing the same idea. So I just want to make it kind of in the middle of these caverns. There's just this cell of something. Is it a dragon? Is it, what is it? But for Underwater, Underwater is going to be spooky. I'm digging on spooky right now. So I'm deleting those rivers assets because I actually saved earlier. I saved those in another file, because I'm going to separate, because I started out with this being mining, and then I sort of made those cavern ones as kind of a, in the same file, so I separated that out. So now I have a template for these mining ones and then another template for the cavern ones. Alright, so we're going to be sort of starting from scratch here. Oh goodness, this is always fun when you work with a different group of assets and different templates, and then you come back and you're like, what even is all this? 'Cause I don't even know. So what I'm underwater, I want to make like a mining post, and then I'm gonna have parts of it flooded. And yeah, and that's what we're gonna do. All right. So first things first. When I start on these mining ones, typically the first place I start is I've been starting with, and for those of you who watched my last stream, yeah, I've been doing a lot. Alright, let's go ahead and, I could use the Don John dungeon generator to make this, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to do this manually. Alright, let's figure out what we're doing here. So we need, let's see, my first mining one, the entrance was kind of up here, and this one was over here. So let's do something different visually. Of course, if you're in roll 20 in the top, it loads. It's always kind of nice to have those up here. Oh, we could have the entrance in the middle and have the area, like the mining camp around it, is all like various stages of flooded. That might work. And then there's some ideas like as far as elevation that I haven't really figured out how I'm going to show that. I might have stairs in various places. Let's see what my stairs look like. To show that when like there's elevation changes of areas that are flooded versus ones that aren't. Oh, sorry. Do you love dad jokes? I mean, sure. I don't make a lot of them really. I'm not a dad joke person. I mean, they're fine. I think they're cringily dad jokes, as dad jokes are. Um, all right, hold on. I've got something wrong with my smoothing. Smoothing? No. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, so I'm trying to decide how I'm going to figure this out. Do I want to make like shapes to represent my structure of this place, and then fill those, and use that? That's a technique I use quite often, and it looks a little boring at first. So remember, these are 5 by 5 squares. So we can have it going up. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50. So that'll be kind of a good base camp, 50 by 50 room, and then we can have stairs up and stairs down, and then we can have some hallways start to branch off that go various places. Let's see. Truk says, why do people in Athens hate getting up in the morning? Because dawn is tough in Greece. Your dad skills are definitely way more powerful than mine, Truk. Oh yeah, Truk, you're on West Coast, I think, right? So it's like 10 a.m. for you? I'm on Central. Let's make a folder here for... And you'll see how this starts to play out here in a minute. I know it looks pretty anticlimactic at the moment, but it'll get there. It'll get there. Okay. And well, Truk, it basically is me just talking to you at the moment. If levels or anything are off, please let me know. Audio levels or music or anything like that. Yogaloth showed up. Hello, Yogaloth. Yogaloth 3 says, I thought it was because the breakfast is Spartan. And this is my stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome to it. It's gonna be like full of dad jokes. So yeah, this is my birthday stream. I am now officially 40 years old. The pretenses of youth are gone. It's all old man yells at cloud memes for me. So I want to. So there's going to be like passages that interconnect these. Actually, I can go ahead and draw those. Actually, I might draw those here in a second. Let's turn off the grids for this, because they'll try to snap to the grids, and I don't really want that. But yeah, some of the other people in my chat in a previous stream were talking about things they were afraid of, and underwater was one of them. And that's part of the inspiration for this underwater map. Is I was doing these mines, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if kind of, well, actually not cool, terrifying, to do some things with water and in an underground adventure. So, yeah. And then, so I think I'm going to have the water probably start right here, although it could start over here somewhere. And then we'll have some areas where it's underwater. I still haven't figured out how much I want underwater versus not underwater. That's going to be something to sort of figure out as we go along here. But let's just make this. Let's see. And then Truk says yes, West Coast time. And Truk says, I remember that conversation. Underwater is scary and terrifying. So you were in on the conversation, Truk. Okay. Yeah. That's part of the inspiration for this map is y'all talking about the things you're scared of, and I'm like, ooh, it's October. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because I mean, I completely agree with you. I think it was you, Truk, you, and Miss J, and I completely agree. Because I thought about doing like I thought about doing like an actual like underwater village or something like that. I have one of those in my old hobbyist stuff, and I'm trying to do different things that are different. All right. So what is this? This is going to be a part of the outpost. Parts of it are definitely going to be flooded. I could actually kind of color code this if I wanted to, just for my own knowledge, with areas that are flooded / not flooded. So if we go with like a, I forget, like an egress, like a linear pattern here, and make this kind of, might maybe make this kind of wind around a little bit. Um, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's have the dungeon kind of wind around. Will be good. And then we'll have like, let's see. Ooh, Truk's talking. I remember that conversation. Underwater is scary and terrifying, particularly with traps that keep you there with no potion of water breathing. Truk, bad enough you have to traverse underwater with no sense of where to go. Eek, Truk, no light, and only can use your hands and feet to feel. So I'm not. I'm gonna have lights in some areas because part of the effect that I'm sort of in love with that I want to explore is where's my old real quick. So I want the water level to be sitting right underneath these hanging lamps. Like this is a recently flooded camp. This isn't abandoned. So there's still going to be like rope and pickaxes, and I'm going to kind of dress this as normal. In fact, I'm probably going to do like a normal version and then a flooded version. Um, and then the water level is going to be sitting, if you can imagine it. So you'll see the water over the barrels and stuff like that, and I might have it like creeping up along the cave walls, but it's not going to be on the mining walls and the lamps. So there is going to be some light. I think I might have it because it makes sense to that this interconnects. But I think I might have it some of these areas like blockaded with boulders where you can't get through. So yeah, let's do that. This is how I design dungeons, y'all, isn't it? Isn't it just amazingly fascinating? It's very, very methodical and scientific, if you can't tell. Ooh, I'm gonna put something here. It really is very Bob Rossish. It's very much. Ooh, let's put a happy closed tunnel here. You know. Yeah, yeah. So that's how it normally would have happened. Is they'd normally go through here, but I'm gonna close that off so that the players have to go this roundabout way. Um, let's see. Yugala 3 says, considering it's Spooktober, you could hide a skeleton of a drowned person somewhere underwater. I mean, I don't have a problem with hiding several skeletons and maybe even some floating bodies. I've got some bodies now that I can toss in there. Um, I can totally do all that. And I would like to say that for the record, I don't need especially so part of my thing about designing maps is that I do it as a dungeon master because I am, and I'm doing these to use in my games or to run because I do. Um, I don't really feel I need to use October as an excuse to do creepy shit that freaks my players out. Like, I think that's just part of what I enjoy doing as a DM. So, um, that's part of being a DM, right? Just freaking out the players. Anytime I can do that, I feel like I've done a good job. Oh, look, Desurion! One of my favorite peoples. Desurion's here, y'all. He did one of my player characters, who has not died yet, thank God. Although I need to get that character the tough feat, I think. Desurion says, "Happy birthday!" Thank you. Oh! Oh, that's so cute. Thank you, Desurion. That is so sweet. Aw, I got to tweet about that. I hope you don't mind, Desurion. I am totally tweeting. I'm totally tweeting that thing you made me because that's precious. All right, sorry, I have to tweet that. That's too cute. All right, and I saw Dom. Dom, happy birthday to you. All right, Yogoloth says, Bob Ross, now let's sprinkle some skeletons here. It always brings joy. Yeah. So, Desurion and Dom, so what I'm doing is I'm making, the theme is underwater, and what I'm doing is I'm taking, so I'm going to be using these same base assets, and I'm going to make a mining camp that's been flooded. So it's going to look like this, except there's going to be water. And the water layer is going to sit below these wood walls and lamps and hanging lamps. It's going to sit below that, but everything else is going to be covered up by it. So that's what we're making right now. And it's an idea that Truk and that came to me when Truk and I want to say it was um, Miss J Maps, and Truk were talking, and they talked about how terrifying underwater is when we're talking about Halloween themes and stuff. So that put that in my brain. I was like, how can I make this underwater map nice and terrifying? So I want to make this look like it's been an active mining camp. And then it's gonna have kind of like a circular pattern where you kind of have to go around. And then I guess, what do I even put at the end? That's a really good question. Probably maybe an exit or something else. Treasure chests. Could put treasure chests at the end. So I'm not going to make a passage from here to the end on the off chance that the PCs can just completely bypass it. something like pass wall or something like that might allow them just to completely bypass the obstacle. So, and we're trying to avoid that. Though I want to make it look like a mining camp, so I do need to add some areas where there's some places heading away from this central thing, and just make those blocked off. So like I can put one right here. Where's another area I can put one? And then we'll make those collapsed with like boulders and stuff. Let's see. Trick says a cave in, a huge hole into the darkness. Huge hole into the darkness. We're gonna have some of those. We might be able to do that with some of the floors. Put some holes into darkness in some of the floors. I am 100% into that idea. And sounds, as always, are by Sirenscape. Thanks again, Dom, for turning me on to Sirenscape. I am loving it. Still need to figure out how to transmit this via Discord. Because I'm not a huge fan of the idea of asking my players to download a third-party app to play in the game. Not a huge. It just feels like there's so much that can go wrong with that. It's just not something I typically like to do. Alright, and I do need to figure out here in a second, I need to figure out which of these areas are flooded and which ones aren't. So we're going to do that here in a second. Although I'm trying to figure out, yeah, because I might need to change some stuff up depending upon how that happens. Let's do something here. Because this is going to be like final boss battle room, right? So might need to make that, open it up as much as I can. And I promise you, I know this looks like pretty boring right now, but this is going to get really cool really quick. Truk says tight passages from the flooding or cave-in. We can make some tight passages. That is not a problem. We have a few different ways we can do that too. Tell you what, Truk, I might be going back and let's see. Truk says depressions causing slippery slopes for deck saves and plummeting into the darkness. I did that. in one of my recent maps. My players were not happy. Not happy at all. It's a Shadowfell map. Oh, I'm going to move this over here. Some shenanigans going on. Yeah, give me just a second. I'll pull it up for you, Truk. This is one that I ran in my game too. I just got to find it real quick. Here it is. So I took my sewer maps and I shadowfelled them. Oops. So, yeah, and I described the floors as being like really crumbly and stuff like that. So whenever the PCs were trying to get around these holes into darkness, they'd have to make saves or do stuff, use their magic, and then up here they got ambushed by an undead purple worm. That was lots of fun. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun with that. They were quite happy to be out of there. Got, oh, hold on. Yeah, Dom, I don't know if you're still in the chat, Dom. I know what you mean. I just made a move, and the cat in my lap started like twitching and looking about like he was being assaulted by something. It's like, no, 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 you're not being assaulted. Everything is fine. Calm down, kitty. Do not like having kitty cats freak out on my lap. Alright, so let's go, and then, so let's do this real quick. And, you know, mentioning the tight spaces and all that. There's going to be some tight spaces right there. That'll set the feel of this map very quickly. We have the PCs having to squeeze into places that they ought not go. Okay. Dom, I am still here. Yeah, my kitty cat's freaking out. Or he did momentarily. My phone's binging, and I wanted to check it because I've got, yeah, it's people wishing me birthday wishes. Okay. But my family is we are having a party tonight, so I need to not completely ignore the outside world. Can't just pay attention to my D&D map making friends. Got to pay attention to the real world people too. Which is, whatever. It is what it is. Alright, so there's our design. I mean, that's a dungeon, right? I think that's a dungeon. That looks like a dungeon to me. Alright. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Select inverse. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Alright, so let's get our nifty Kyle's charcoal. That's what I've been using for these walls. Alright. It's time to do a little bit of painting. Time to do a little bit of painting. Bob Ross style. Alright, we're going to turn these effects off. So this will go faster. Oh. I can show me y'all's kitty cat. See, Dom says this is 12-year-old humor, but the other night we were all playing Minecraft. One of the guys yelped loudly, then explained that his cat started falling off his lap and grabbed onto his bits to stay on his lap. He was in a lot of pain. I'm not gonna lie, I cracked up at the poor lad. Yeah, that's one of the arguments. So Bear is in my lap right now, and this is sort of like a tenuous alliance or friendship at the moment, because in the winter when I have on jeans it's fine, but I'm wearing pajama pants right now, which means that as you put it, my bits are a little bit more are not fully protected, and he has been known to do similar things as your friend player in Minecraft. I have been on the receiving end of that at least once or twice, which is typically enough for me to be. That's why when he spooked a minute ago, I was like, ugh, because if he spooks and decides he's gonna jettison himself off of my lap at high speeds, then I've got to be prepared for that. So, oh, I'm already starting to like this. Oh, I never did plot out what's going to be underwater, did I? So let's, we can do that real quick. It's not going to take real long. Let's do that next. And I don't even know, like, why I even need to. Well, I guess, yeah, I need to know what's going to be underwater, because I need to make sure and have stairs or something, or I don't know how I'm going to portray slopes on ground, on just the earth. I haven't figured that out. So that's, yeah, we probably do need to do that. Probably should have done that before I started painting in these walls. Oops. Because there's a possibility I might have to change a couple of things if I didn't plot my stuff out very well. But I think it'll be fine. Let's see. Truk says I would have too, and Yogaloth 3 says the caves parts kind of looked like ghosts, at least before you started coloring them. Yeah, 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 sure. Yeah, I can see that. This is gonna get a lot of dimension once I start adding like the walls and stuff. It's gonna really shape up here in a few minutes, and it's not gonna take real long now that I've made all the assets and I've gotten everything together and kind of figured out. And I'm gonna make. Let's see, I did the temple one, the unlocked the ancient temple. I did that one with this style, and then I did the waterfalls, and then I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to do at least one more to have at least four in case I want to turn that into a Roll20 set. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to sell these on Roll20. I know I'm going to, but I haven't figured out how I'm going to market it and cut them up and all that. Right now, I'm just in the creator mode. Got a little jealous of Tom Cartos. He says that 1 to 2 hours a day he does administrative stuff and then spends the rest of his time focusing on the creative aspects of his work. And I was really jealous of that. I was like, wow, I do a lot more admin than that. I want to focus on creative stuff. So here I am, focusing on creative stuff and sharing it with the community and being a part of the community. Thanks to Dom. It's all your fault, Dom. Alright, here we go. So let's do this. Alright. There's our cave. There's our cave. Our cave. Well, here we go. Since y'all are here, we'll have a quick cat. Let's see if I can. He's not gonna let me do this for long. Here's the kitty that's in my lap. Let's see if he'll go back to my lap, or did I disturb the fragile ecosystem that was going on? I may have disturbed it. Okay. So let's do. And this is just for me, I think, at the moment. I don't think I'm actually going to use this to this is just to kind of figure out what's what. So that's definitely not underwater. This is definitely not underwater. We can make this underwater, or this above water. This is going to be above water. This can be above water. This can be above water. This will be above water. And I think all that other stuff's going to be underwater. We can make this above water. In case Demille says, I'm working on my Halloween map too. Yeah! Oh, okay, you're not streaming. That's what I'd say. Are you going to stream today, Demille? I noticed Alyssa canceled hers. I'd already thought about possibly streaming, but when I saw that Alyssa canceled hers, I was like, yeah, I've gotta stream. Okay, and then all this other stuff, and then we'll, um, just for fun, just for funsies. All this stuff is underwater. Or well, actually, those two things might not be. This is underwater, definitely. This is underwater. Okay, so this does actually make there is a couple of adjustments I need to make here, or maybe not. Maybe I don't always have to have stairs down when I go from land to water. Like I don't think that always has to be the case, but it certainly helps in the transition, right, of making it look that way. So all right. So I think next, now that I've kind of figured that out, next comes floor. So let's go over here to floors. Boulders, ground textures. It's above dirt. I think I don't need bridges in this particular. Don't need waterfalls either. Although, do I want to have some places where there's water like coming in? I might. So I might save those effects just in case. May not delete those. Okay. Underwater boulders. Well, my whole this whole water layer is about to get moved up. So I don't know. I don't even actually need it there. That's not even necessary. Need a whole new layer mask for this. So we can take this guy right here and grab him or her and make that our layer mask. Now the problem is that there is going to be just a very slight, I might want to paint this to be a little bit over the walls so that there's not like an overlap, which is what I've done in the past. So let's see what I'm talking about here. Right, so to have to make sure this kind of goes under. Oh, I've got another weird brush. There we go. So that if I add like layer effects or anything on that, on this ground level, although I don't really plan on doing that. No, because I'm gonna be doing some transitioning. So yeah, I don't think. Now that I think about it, I think that's unnecessary. I think this is good the way it is. All right. So what we do need to do, let's go ahead and make like our outpost places, our outpost floors, so I know where those are. Let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to be playing around with stairs a lot, so I'm going to have to grab my stairs and toss those around. And we're about to start having some You're about to actually start seeing things take shape here in a minute. We're getting really close, y'all. Actually, we're just gonna just cheat a little bit. Once again, I don't these floors, these wood floors. I don't think I'm gonna be putting any effects on them, so we don't have to worry about that as much. But I want to kind of mark off the places where they are right now so I know. And then we might be changing the... Alright, so let's delete mask, apply layer mask. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these stairs. Stairs are going to be just really, really important in this particular scenario. Because this is where we're going to go like down into the water, right? Is places where these stairs go down. I'm going to have the water cut off about or start about halfway through, and then that's where we're going to have our flooded areas. So let's rename this stairs raw. That did something. Yep, there we go. Stairs. Okay. And there is going to be a little foreshadowing here because like the players are going to start out over here. And there's going to be a couple of these areas that are just sort of flooded. And then there's going to be areas that are just like completely flooded. How's your, if you're still there, how's your Halloween map going, Dom? Are you doing inking right now? Also, are you going to stream today? Are you going to stream? And then all of this just gets cooler when you start doing the dynamic lighting. Yeah, we might change that up a little bit. Might change up the rock walls over here a little bit here in a second. To keep this kind of theme of stairs up and stairs down to flooded areas. I'll tell you what, y'all, I'm already getting pretty excited about this. It's going to be pretty neat. got I've got this song "I Shall Be Released," like just not going out of my head. It's pretty brutal, really. Those kind of fit naturally, don't they? We're gonna do color overlay. Yep, we're gonna do that because that's gonna help me see where this stuff is. Oh, that one's not gonna work that way. Neither of those are. I think that's fine. Yeah, none of those are. But let's see how that. Well, see, those work because it's at the end of it, so it makes it look like it's a step down to it, which is fine. But those ones where there's the overlap, kind of. Do we want? Yeah, I think we do. Although that might be a little bit too much feather. Got 4 viewers. One of them's me. I'm pretty sure. How's everyone else doing? Y'all doing good? Alright, now we've got to go back. So here in a second we're going to do, well, actually I'm going to do the walls next, and then I'm probably going to have to patch up the walls a little bit. Huh. Looks like that stair isn't completely on that. Nope. Sure isn't. So I have a question if anybody's here and paying attention. How come some streamers get away with playing just like radio music? Because there's a handful of streamers I've noticed who do that. Are they just doing that despite the fact that it's against the rules, or are they paying for like an artist license, like one of the yearly artist license, or something like that, or what's What's going on? Does anybody know? Because I'm curious about that. Or has they just not got, no one's just said anything? Because I thought Twitch cracked down on that. Because Matt Colville was saying a few months ago that his accidentally went to something that was copyrighted on SoundCloud. And Twitch shut off his stream. He's but yeah, he's also kind of a bigger name. They might pay attention more to what he does than some other people. Alright, we're probably going to go for another hour or so. Maybe longer, we'll see. I'm going to get hungry at some point. I'm good for right now. Alright, let's go ahead and do walls. And my cat did, the cat forgave me for showing him off to the camera. Alright, this is kind of a monotonous part here in just a second, but a necessary evil, I think. I really like the way that it looks. Those wood walls against the cave texture. Like, I'm just a huge fan of how that looks. It just looks really, I don't know, it just looks good to me. Well, looks like we have a mistake there. I need to figure out where that mistake is. Okay. Could have waited and come back later, but I didn't really get too far, so I'm not that worried about it. Now is where we get to the part where once I doing this for a little bit, if I see a mistake, I'm like, screw it. No, I'm not fixing it, or I'm saving it till later or something. Okay. So we're cutting all this out. is not here. So I remember every face of every man that put me here. See my light come shining. Alright, I'm going to show y'all what that... Oh, well. I mean, I can keep going. Let's see, Truk says naivety, maybe. I mean, some of them are pretty big streamers. I mean, they have, like, you know, decent amount of followers. At least one of them said he's been streaming since 2015. So, I mean, you'd think they understand copyright. But, I mean, but maybe not. I don't know. Because, I mean, if it's like a simple process or something, or if you have to just stream from a service that's already taking care of the copyright or something, then I wouldn't mind doing that to get some I Shall Be Released up in here. It's just going to be me listening to I Will Be Released over and over. But and if you don't know what that song is, well, just can't help you. Just can't help you. It's a Bob Dylan song. Seems like, I mean, Hurricane is about Reuben Carter, but the boxer. But it seems like I Shall Be Released is very much touching on the same themes of like social injustice and stuff like that. We could mess with this stuff some more, but and then the next part, doing the little dark post highlights at the corners, that's a part that I'm not a huge fan of, because that takes a little while. But we're making pretty good time. This is we're making pretty good time. Yogaloth3 says no idea. Don't follow too many streamers. Yogaloth3 says I'm now working on some Roll20 character sheet stuff. Was more focused on the stream at the start. Oh yeah, no worries, man. No worries. No worries. Thanks for joining. If you do pop back, Yogaloth, did you see this in the Roll20 Discord? Is that where you saw this, or are you one of my friends from another channel or something like that? Truk and Demille are my Twitter friends. Always interested to know where people come from. On the internet, that is. Well, and in real life too. Where are you from? I think right now we got East Coast, West Coast, and Central Time all covered. Between me, Truk, and Dom. Don't see if Tom Cardos and Miss J Maps are around. They're not in here. Although, yeah, so like Tom Cartos is in Argentina? Alright, man. Alright, dude. Alright, dude, pick something. For those of you not actually watching, my cat's walking back and forth in front of the camera. Because that's what cats do. When you don't have them, huh. Huh, huh, huh. Interesting. Okay, gotta fix that. Alright, that might be a good time to go ahead and toss in what I have so far. So I can fix this stuff. And here he comes, back for a second pass. Good thing the camera's angled the way it is. So he's just showing off his butt, as cats like to do. Alright. That's what that's going to look like. Is, yep. Some walls we need to fix over here. But yeah, I mean, I said that. It's like, this isn't going to be, that first, there's inevitably a couple of things that come up and I want to change it up a little bit more. Happens frequently. Whoop. That's not what I wanted. I want this guy. Do a little bit of stuff up here too. I'm gonna pause here in just a second. Not for long. I'm not going on break. I'm just take a drink of water. My mouth's getting dry. Alright, pause. Okay. Ooh, goodness. Say that every man must fall. See your reflection High above. Alright, so we're almost done with the walls of the like little outpost areas, but I very specifically want to add some walls to some of the mining areas as well. Because I want to have places where those lamps are hanging over the water, because I think that's going to look neat. I hope it looks as neat in real life as it does in my head. My head's setting some pretty high expectations here. It's just areas where the walls have been braced. And then once we get done with this, we can go and do a cleanup of this of the rock wall in the areas where I've made changes that are significant from the original layout. But that kind of that difference between let's see, Yogaloth3 says Twitter first, then noticed it on Discord as well. Laughed my ass off. Finland here. Finland! Nice! Hello, Finland. That's cool. It's one of my favorite things about playing and being active in the online D&D community is getting to interact with people from all over the world. I think that's really just badass, to be honest with you. Like, I think that's so cool. It's really neat. Makes me happy. Makes my 40-year-old ass happy. And I really like the contrast. I believe very much in the universal principles of design, um, also known as CRAP: contrast, repetition, alignment, proximity. But I have a tendency to think of those things in terms of those things when I'm doing any kind of design. Doesn't matter if it's adventure design or map design or logo design or doesn't matter. And so it creates this cool contrast of this kind of like organic cave walls that I drew by hand, just kind of haphazardly, and then these built geometric formations. Creates kind of a cool contrast, in my opinion. There's some up there. We might go fix some of this stuff that some of the problems we've had, and then go back and finish these out. Andreas J. Well, thank you, Andreas J. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We definitely have some more stuff we're going to be doing with the ground here in a little bit. We're just not quite there yet. I don't know why my flow and smoothing always like change their own settings. Does anybody else have issues with that? It's going to be rubble. Lots of rubble. Alright, cat. My legs are falling asleep, man. That's screaming. Goodness. Let's try this again. Alright. Dom says, did you get anything for your birthday? Not yet. I actually didn't ask for anything. I've got, I don't know, 40 or 50 people coming to my party tonight, and I was in bars for a long time. I could have invited a lot more if I wanted to, but I really don't. But no, I asked people to donate to the the dog rescue where I got Mia. I did that on Facebook. I said, hey, if y'all want to get me a present, please do that. No, god damn it. I bought myself some cool hot sauces, if that counts for anything. I'm a hot sauce fan. Yellow Bird habanero condiment is what it's called. Got myself a big old giant bottle of that. Stuff's good. Got myself a bottle of another one I really like called Scorned Woman, and it's very delicious. Dom, my in real life counterpart is named Laura, and she's my offline BFF. We wait tables together on Friday nights. We have been for like 7 or 8 years, and 2 of our daughters are around the same age, and Laura's my, in real life, she's my offline BFF. But so she found this scorned woman at like a. She's got a couple of like I don't know what they're called. The stores where they like overstock stores and stuff like that that sell like stuff that's been damaged, or the packaging's been damaged or stuff like that, and they sell all kinds of different stuff, including food items. And she found this hot sauce there, and she brought it to the restaurant, and I just love it so much, and it's so good. It's got a nice level of heat to it. It's not too hot, but it's definitely spicy. I like spicy food, so. Jamil says, I always have really weird issues with Photoshop, like my Photoshop randomly switched my active color to dark blue on a regular basis. No idea why. That's what's happening with this flow and smoothing business. I can turn them, to the settings I want, and they're just going to reset at some point, and I have no idea why. Alright. Alright, so now, oh gosh, now's the obnoxious part. Have to add the little squares to this wood. Once I finish adding the ground that's supposed to be there. Let's see. Yogoloth, well pronounced, and that map is really starting to look solid. Yeah, thanks, Andreas. Yeah, we still got a lot of little details to do on the actual. This ground layer has got some details I want to work on before I get too much further. So there's, you'll see if you look, so actually I don't need this guy. I don't think is going to get used. This guy probably will be though. So I can show you, so we're going to duplicate that. We're going to delete that layer mask. We're going to toss this layer mask right here. There we go. Oh, still got a little bit of stuff to go. This stuff up. Alright. I think... I didn't put any in here. Oh, and I made a place for it too, so yeah, let's do that. Alright, so let's go down here and do something a little bit more fun for a second before we do this really obnoxious stuff.